Hey, what's going on? My name is Cruz, and today I have a special video. I've been thinking about this one for a long time now. I have a few pedals in here that are considered to be lesser expensive pedals, right? And some of these pedals were pretty popular in their time, but maybe are a tad bit outdated. And then some of them are outright considered to be cheap or inexpensive based on people's opinions because of its price point. But I've been wanting to do this experiment for a long time. I have my pedal board, which is, to be honest with you, quite expensive. And I absolutely love the pedal board, but I've been curious. I want to compare it and some of the sounds that I get from it with other products that maybe don't cost as much. My hope for this video is that it'll enlighten me a little bit and maybe you in the process. See, I have this strong belief that some of these less expensive pedals that people consider to be cheap because of its price point, I think they actually are very good ones out there, and there are a lot of gems. Just because they don't cost as much doesn't mean that they don't sound just as good. Now, on my personal pedal board, I have a lot of what I consider to be fluff pedals that I don't really use all the time as my normal everyday tone. For example, the Mood pedal, the Pitchfork, the Julia, those are pedals that I love, but for the most part, I don't turn them on very often, as opposed to my everyday tone and what it consists of. It's compression, overdrives, a volume pedal for swells, delay, reverb, and an amp. And that's exactly what I'm doing with my pedal board. But what if we use other pedals that I have sitting here that maybe don't cost as much to try to recreate the same kind of setup? Keep in mind, I'm not going to use a like for like, meaning I use tape delay, but I don't have an inexpensive tape delay in my possession, so I'm just going to use what I have. So this pedal board that I put together literally would cost a fraction of the price that I paid for my pedal board. For tuning, I'm going to be using the Rockstock Nano, happens to be the world's smallest tuner pedal. That goes into the Donner Ultimate Comp. Literally just picked that up yesterday for like 20 bucks at Guitar Center. Now, although I only use one overdrive on my personal pedal board, it has MIDI function, so I actually get 4 separate overdrive tones out of it. So we're going to be doing that today with the Joyo King of Kings. Obviously, it's a 2-in-1, so you have 1 overdrive, 2 overdrives. Stacking them together makes a 3rd overdrive. And then we're going to use the Ibanez Tube Screamer Mini for a little bit of a solo style boost. We're going to be going into an old beat up Ernie Ball Jr. Then I've chosen to use the Boss DD5, one of my all-time favorite delays. Now mine looks a little different because though it takes tap tempo in, I modified mine so that the tap tempo would actually be installed on the pedal. So that switch on top of there is my tap tempo, but nothing else was modified. For reverb, of course, I chose the Joyo Atmosphere pedal. And for my amp, I chose the Joyo AC Tone. And now as a last minute decision, I still have my Digitech Jamman Solo XT. That's a little bit more of an expensive pedal, but since I use pads so often using the Aerospace Atmosphere pedal on my main pedal board, I think it's only right that we try to emulate that on this more inexpensive pedal board. So we're going to add the Digitech Jamman Solo XT with some old pads that I loaded a long time ago. So it'll sound a little bit different, but we can recreate the same kind of sounds that I create on a daily basis. I'm really excited about this one. Let's quickly hear what these pedals sound like individually, then we'll play something together. Then I'll quickly compare both pedal boards side by side to hear the differences, and then I'll give you my opinions at the end of this video, so stay tuned. this experiment has left me a little bit speechless. Hearing those tones, and as I was going back and forth, I think it sounded really, really good. There were some faults to this pedal board though, so I guess cons, as you could say, which is that the more gain we added, the more exposed the sound was. And what I mean by that was the sound was a little more digital than I had anticipated. I'd have to think that that is attributed to the Joyo AC tone. Not that it's not a good pedal, but it is a dated pedal at this point. That's the reason why in the past, when I used that pedal, I combine it with their cab IR simulator because, well, I think it makes it sound just a little bit more usable. But the tones were still there, and I think if maybe I sat a little bit longer with this thing, I could find a way to take it out and actually gig with it. I thought it sounded that good. So this video is my way of trying to prove that these things can be done. But if I'm being perfectly honest, I heard a quality difference in my tone. Does that mean that more money equals better quality? I mean, I don't know. I just think that it's just about your preference and where you are in your life and what you can afford. But just know, no matter what you can afford, great tones can be made regardless of what products you purchase. It's just a matter of sitting with it and really taking time to dial it in. Thank you so much for checking out the video, but please do not click away without doing me a couple of favors. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon so you get an alert every single time I upload a video. Be sure to like this video, comment below, and tell people about the channel. I'm working hard to make it better and better every single week. Thanks again for watching, and until next week.